These bits are non-audio recorded again. I was just so busy into looking for stuff, but when I downloaded the PS5 version of Minecraft over to this one, it's making me get my trophies again, which showed that I had discovered 17 biomes in 3 days, just looking for a place to finally settle down. Because normally I don't go for the end dragon. If I eventually go, then that's, but most of the time I try building a nice random place, turning a place refurbished. This is a random. I did find a zombie village, which I have never discovered before. And then looking around, when I started recording, I didn't notice that piece of iron that's up there. But what really made this cave stick out to me was that there was a mob spawner in it, and it just seemed so perfectly put for XP farming that I decided to keep it and start building in this cave because it has 3 different entrances. At this point I was like, oh shit, that sun's kind of low, and I don't do very well in the dark. But I have a very hard time at not looking at scenery because the game looks really beautiful. I was throwing stuff in the chest unorganized for right now because I really didn't care. Um, I my biggest focus was turning this into something that looked pretty, and I'm sitting here checking the layout, wanting to keep the water feature at some point, and then expanding or figuring out what the layout's gonna look like, and that's when I decided to at least start with the stairs, and that'll give me a good idea of the foundation to build. Right here, this is where I'm digging out the ground level to move in the grass. As you can see, it was coming along pretty decently, especially for like day progress at least. And I sit here and carve out paths so I can walk, and I just completely ignore them. Just not gonna overlook that fact. I completely don't know what happened to days 9 to freaking 15 to wake up on day 16. But I had finished out digging that granite deposit and decided to turn that into like a basement subfloor where I'm moving in my bedroom. That way I'm no longer over there. I had put all the polished granite all the granite I got, I polished it and turned it into like a pathways. And then obviously you can see I got the grass moved in. I had sectioned off the wall. And then of course I'm trying to see what as I get jumped here. Going through, I did finally organize my chests out whenever I pulled everything out and have my food chest and grow stuff. I have my wood chest, my stone chest, and then I have components and tools. And this is where I was originally staying. The bed and crafting table and everything was right there. I was living very barbaric. Now I have an area that sections it off to make sure nobody comes in. I do plan on turning that into a nicer walkway. And then I do have my mishaps every now and then where I was digging up. I had exposed a stone that I, like, now I have to go fix. At the moment, I was kind of worried. It was just a little too dark there that it might spawn mobs, considering I do have that. I did also dig this down. That way, eventually, when I turn this into a spawner, hopefully they will only spawn closer down there. This is the last clip I'm having to dub over in editing. The next clips that I will be doing in the next videos will actually have my current live reaction to the game or whatever game I'm playing. Hopefully my recording issues won't be a problem anymore. Hopefully I've knocked off a bit of enough rust to continue this on. At this moment I was setting up my last little trees or whatever so I can start having actual wood details, not just stone. But I wanted to get a quick look at just how, like, one, I'm just deep in the snow. There's just nothing, but that's I'm just like, and then of course I fall into snow. But if you enjoyed, I hope to see you in the next one, and then you have a great day.